Questions? Yes.
Given the flooding that we're seeing out our window here, and much worse upstream, I realize, do you see any chance that this state can become more bold and aggressive in land use controls to keep development from continuing to eke out into the floodplains, continue to put more and more people at risk, continue to cost the state more and more money, the federal government more and more money to pay the same people to move in and out of the floodplains? Do something. I mean, we really have, we're right at the point of the sword in this country, and we have terrible, terrible land use policies with regard to floodplains.
It's extremely difficult to find your philosophical bent in the question. I think, no, I know. Since '93, much has changed. The floods of '93 fundamentally changed in many areas of the state land use issues, obviously. We've seen more land go into CRP. We've seen more land go into our litigation vis-a-vis the Missouri River has put more and more acres out there into conservation reserve. We have seen levees strengthened, and quite frankly, as we sit here today in what is a significant flood for this city right here, you don't have a great deal of displacement, and obviously with the Missouri River without it being up. I think that most of those issues about that deal are in essence federal issues, but at the state level, we have worked to support the local levee districts to have the levees that they need to protect the property that they do when working with the Corps and others. We'll continue to do that. We also will continue to work with local communities so that they can have their facilities not in places that they're in great risk. But I don't see this flood as a significant opportunity to have the government either expend or purchase property from people any more so than what would be regularly done based on the budget estimates and situations we have right now. Obviously, there are significant federal policies, but the state will continue to support what's a continuation of people having the right to farm the land near the river, to regenerate that land and use it for valuable farmland and small towns. Yes.
Good question. Can you kind of go into more detail relative to how serious the conservative opposition to stem cell research is? Because I know there's a lot of people out there that want to not support that. And secondly, the nonprofits I work with, there's a lot of them who are projecting some major cutbacks in the land. Comment on that.
Nonprofits have cutbacks?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. They're just fearful.
Okay, a couple of things. Stem cells on stem cells. I mean, first of all, I support stem cell research, and I think that it provides not only cures but provides an opportunity for great economic movement forward. It's a whole cluster of issues contained within fear of science, though, that a significant section, in fact, both my opponents, I think, have certainly embraced, and it concerns me greatly. We cannot be viewed as an anti-science state. We cannot be viewed as an anti-science region, whether it's plant science or life science. Much of our economy here is based on the growth of not only the research being done at WashU and the product development being done at Cortex, but also the plant science development work that's being done by Monsanto and the Danforth Plant Center, as same as on the Kansas City side, the Stowers Institute, and in Columbia University, Missouri. So I think that stem cell kind of, while I support it, it stands for the broader proposition that Missouri is not a good place to invest your research dollars, and that's a very scary scary place to be. It's a competitive world out there for us to get the dollars we need in scientific research, and significant levels of teaching is done and research is done here. And if we are on the back end of that, we're in a heck of a hurt. And that's why I think that stem cell stands for not only the individual piece of stem cell, but it stands for a greater economic loss if we are viewed in a competitive world for investment as an anti-science center here. As far as nonprofits, I think one reason why nonprofits are looking at their budgets coming down is the economic stress we're having. I mean, you got $4 a gallon gas, you got almost $4 a gallon milk, you got $2 a dozen eggs. People are pulling back at all sections of the economy. I think as you look out there, that means less money for everybody. I think there's a lot of economic strain out there right now. People are having a hard time and getting real sticker shock at the pump and at the grocery store, and that's having a dramatic effect. And when you couple on that the massive health care cuts and the dramatic expansion and increase of cost of health insurance, you put together a group of economic issues that touch everybody. I mean, and so I think that's one of the reasons why in the nonprofit community you may be looking at some level of stress or reservation on budgets as we move into 2009. Yes, ma'am.
A lot of states are looking at reforming the Medicaid system. In fact, one of the actually looked at is at the state level. Would that be a priority for your administration in terms of covering the uninsured? And where does that fit in your priority?
It's right there at the very beginning. I've said all along in this campaign that I think that it's a fundamentally mistaken policy to slash health care benefits the way that it was done. Not only we turned down $1 billion in what's a very, very important way for us to maximize our dollars. So you bet, day one, beginning the process of restoring the Medicaid cuts, beginning the process of covering every kid, and then looking at how we can get a broader, for working folks, a broader group of affordable insurance products out there, affordable health care products. This year, I think that once again, we go through a year in which the legislature and Jeff City completely struck out. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. I mean, a lot of work was done before the session to present some ideas. Significant dollars were laid out there for that, whether you're, and none of that was completed. We are not moving forward when it comes to health care in the state of Missouri, and there's no issue more important for me as I get started in January of 2009 than the pumping the needed dollars back into that system, getting the federal dollars that we have to have available, making products available for folks that are working so that they can get insurance and covering every kid.